My name is Dana Kosich, and I'm the principal designer at Hiatus Design. We've been in business for over 20 years, and our specialty is high-end residential. Most people want to have a home that feels like a home, that is comfortable, that isn't intimidating, where one can come and relax. But balancing it with luxury. Luxury is, I guess, my definition of luxury is attention to detail and addressing every aspect of the home. The architect had provided some very basic plans, which we then as interior designers embrace and develop and expand upon. So there was not a lot of detail in terms of what the ceiling details were going to be like, whether there would be coffers. It was basically the exterior walls and then interior partitions. So at an early stage, I collaborated with the client and we made modifications to the plan and explored the layout to optimize what we thought would be the best for their lifestyle. So while working on this home, I had a wonderful opportunity to work with many local artisans. We had someone who did a special hand-painted finish in the foyer. The walls of the family room were also all done by hand and with an interesting striated texture. Other artisans involved were a local blacksmith who did all the wrought iron work on the railings, which was hand forged. Other materials that were, I think, extraordinary were the custom inlaid tile patterns in the foyer. They were imported. So there were several areas in the house where we didn't want to hold back. One of those areas would be the office. My client has always had a dream to have an office that was completely done with wood paneling. Even the whole selection of the veneer was something that my client and I went to the millworkers and looked at and actually selected. The media room would be another area that we didn't hold back. My client opted to do something that was a little bit more modern, a little bit more fun, because it's a room where people are going to be having parties. So the inspiration for the media room came from conversations that I had with the AV consultant, Howell. I asked him, well, how can I make this room work? I really wanted to try to understand the basics of sound. And one of the things I remember, and I still use to this day, is that it was good to have a variety of different surfaces that could help to absorb sound and dampen it. And so that gave rise to having the different textures on the wall, from the upholstered acoustical panels to the ceiling detail, which is above the seating area, which is all done out of veneered wood. No one knows for sure when they're designing a home that it's going to be relevant 12 years, into the future. I think the secret to doing that is to pick quality materials and to adopt a timeless approach in the selection of everything from even the fixtures in the bathrooms. We always erred on the side of what is elegant and what is going to endure. I think this house suits the lifestyle of a young family. I think it provides spaces for people to retreat to, but then also spaces where they can come together. There's a wonderful garden and pool area where it would be enormous fun to grow up. Just looking around at the views of the property. There's nature everywhere here, and it's welcomed in through all the large windows. When I arrived at the house this morning, I parked across the street and looked at the house and was pleasantly surprised that I still love this house. The architecture, on the outside is still relevant. It's still very classic. All the little details, from the brickwork on the driveway to the moldings, the roof line. I'm very pleased to say that this house is still relevant, and I would not change anything if I was to redesign it today.